I know the leagues. I know the teams. I know these players. I know this wonderful game called football.
Welcome to the Money Line presented by Pro Football Debate. As always, before we get into things, just want to give a shout out to Bet Openly, the sportsbook sponsor of the Money Line. So today we're just going to see how our best bets did and then just run down the board and see what our leans look like. Basically, just give us an overall picture of what is working or isn't working. Drake, start us off. How did our best bets look last week?
Yeah, gave out 3 plays. Start with Falcons at 1 o'clock. They covered 1 by 10, a nice 3.5 point cover. Tennessee was a little bit of a sweat. Couldn't quite move the ball offensively, as we talked about on Thursday night. But they got their 16-15 cover. And then the Steelers were just an awful read by me. Congratulations to you on our head-to-head. Just San Francisco is the real deal. I mean, the way that they can move the ball offensively and that defense is more than impressive. Looking forward to seeing kind of how they play the rest of the year. But super, super pumped about, San Francisco offense and their defense.
Yeah, Purdy looked good too. He looked settled in. I know there were some question marks there, but he didn't miss a beat. And obviously, when you got CMC back there, that's going to lighten the load a little bit. But
no doubt.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be that much of a runaway. But like I said, kind of a misread. We did actually end up putting Pittsburgh on our card, so a misread on both of us actually to come together on that one. But how I was feeling Thursday night, though, I like the San Fran look, and like I said, kind of going against the money there did pan out, at least for the picks we gave out on our end. So with that said, let's just go right into the board. Let's see where our leans were. I'll kind of run on the board, just kind of do what we did last Thursday. You tell us where if anything stuck out. So let's just start off with Texans and Ravens. Ravens 16-point win covering the 10.
Yeah, no, we were. I think I said that 10 line was perfect on the Circa contest. I said if it was 9.5, I'd take Baltimore. If it was 10.5, I'd take Houston. You were on Baltimore, so kudos to you. The trend mattered in this case, and Baltimore did what they do. Houston had a couple chances. It's just that offense couldn't get the ball rolling. Stroud missed some throws, just as you expect from a rookie. But good call by you with Baltimore laying the points.
Next game, we had Falcons 24 to the Panthers 10. We were both on the Falcons. Kind of dicey there, maybe the first 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter, I think with about 70 minutes left, we pretty much kind of chalked that one up as a W early.
Yeah, it was a good feeling. That was probably my most confident play on the board. In a confidence point pick 'em, that was my most confident play. Thankfully, it got home for us. But, their ability to run the football, control clock. Surprised Bijan didn't get as many carries, but I think that'll come. Algier poached some goal line carries and got in the end zone. So maybe some more Bijan in the future. But regardless, their ability to run the football is impressive. And that division, I think it's up for grabs, them in New Orleans. So we'll see kind of how those battles shake out. But Atlanta right here, right now, it looks decent.
Yeah, so we talked about Indy's kind of just inability to start hot. Jaguars covering 31-21, beat them by 10. Talk us through that one, because it's definitely a little bit of a sweat there.
Yeah, no, I think, rookie QBs, there's a trend to fade them. And we didn't necessarily play Jacksonville. That was definitely a lean to lay the points just because of Indy being Indy, and they're projected to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. But had a chance to get the backdoor cover late with Minshew, and had 4 plays to do it and just couldn't get it done. So everyone that played on Jacksonville, good for you. Don't expect to be so lucky in the future. The NFL has its weird way of biting the ass a little bit.
Saints 16 to Titans 15. This was a play we both gave out. We both liked Vrabel. Again, him in that 3.5 spot is a really good trend. So we both wrote that one out. But anything stick out there? I know you watched that game pretty intently because it was on our card. Talk to me on that one.
Yeah, no, Tennessee was a good play. Vrabel, like we talked about, is an ATS beast. I think 15-7 on the road as an underdog against the spread. Had to go with the trend there, and it ended up paying off for us. again, couldn't quite move the ball offensively, which was somewhat surprising. But I think we called out that it'd probably be a dogfight, low total, and it certainly was. A lot of field goals were being made. So if you had either Tennessee or New Orleans kickers, good for you in fantasy football.
Yeah, this one, we didn't necessarily have a play on it. I know we both talked, though, with the line kind of being an odd number. We both lean the Browns, but Browns taking care of business 24-3 in the dog pound, just completely taking Burrow out of the equation. I know we said it looks fishy in that regard. We would have taken the points, but walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that game too intently. Crappy weather. There are other games going on in red zone. This game didn't have a ton of points first half, so kind of wasn't paying a ton of attention to it. But yeah, the Browns, Nick Chubb is a beast. He can run the football like nobody else in football. You probably might have more to say on that one, but for me, we said taking the points. If we had to take a side, Cleveland owns that relationship against Burrow, and they found ways to win last year and did it again this week.
Yeah, we said that we kind of watch it, but from a viewing standpoint, it wasn't really intriguing. No points really in the first half. You saw some points in the second half,
Right.
But yeah, overall there was other games going on. Which, speaking of, let's go to our next one here. The probably the biggest survivor buster of the week: the Bucs taking care of business in Minnie, beating the Vikings 20-17.
Yeah, no, I think we said we would take the points with Tampa, but I was more so on the over. I think I said if Tampa scored 21 points, should be able to hit that over 45.5. Minnesota didn't hold their end of the bargain. I think late second quarter, Kirk threw an interception near the goal line. It could have been 7 more points for them. Who knows how the game shakes out after that. But Minnesota didn't play well offensively. Surprised with Tampa's defense, and Baker's, he just did what he has done, I guess, the last few years. He's come in different roles and somehow got his team to perform. So kudos to them. And I thought Minnesota, even with the 13-3 record last year, everyone called them fraudulent. I still thought they were a better team. Power rated them a little bit higher than maybe some other people. But they are who we thought they were. Trash.
Yeah, and then speaking of trash, but you got the Commanders and the Cardinals. 2016 Commanders win, just an ugly game all the way around. I guess, kudos to the Cardinals for keeping it close. I don't think anybody expected them to even hold a lead in this. We had, a couple friends with big money in Survivor that were kind of clinched there a little bit as a 7-point favorite.
For sure.
7.5, I think it closed at. So, kudos to the Cardinals for keeping that close. But again, not a game that either of us really picked. I think we scrubbed that one off right away when we were talking Thursday night.
For sure. Yeah, too many unknowns with the Sam Howell offense in Washington, injury statuses, and then you don't know what you're going to get out of Arizona with Josh Dobbs starting at quarterback. So it was a stay away for us. And like you said, a lot of people are sweating in Survivor with that Washington pick for sure.
Raiders squeaking out the win, 17-16. Russ is going to Russ, I guess. New coach. It doesn't matter. Just fumbled the ball late. Just not good football again. But hey, credit to Jimmy G for going there and getting a win and getting the cover.
Yeah. We were on. If we were forced to take a side, we said we would take the Raiders as the divisional dog. They were solid and ended up getting the outright win. So if you took the points, good for you. If you took Vegas money line, even better.
Yep. Next game, again, maybe like a mid-level Survivor upset, but Seattle getting absolutely rolled at home by the Rams, 30-13. I didn't see that coming. I don't think you did. I know when we said we kind of would force a play, but what did you see there? What do you remember us talking about Thursday?
No, we were on the Rams with the points. The spread of 5.5 was weird. It came down during the week, so we saw some reverse line movement versus where the money was at and or where the bets were at. And then McVay just owns that relationship against Pete Carroll head to head. He's I don't know the stat right now, but ATS McVay is dominant against Pete Carroll, and Seattle, just their defense still Swiss cheese. So I don't know what to expect for them going forward. Tough matchup in a hostile environment in Detroit this week for Seattle too.
Yeah, there definitely some big improvements there.
Yeah.
This one we were on, we called the money line. We said, take the 1.5 if you wanted to, but you can save a little bit of juice on the money line there. But Packers just absolutely dominating the game from start to finish, 38-20 over the Bears.
Sure.
Again, we were all over that one. We liked that one early in the week. I think we were actually scoping it the week before that when we saw it open up. that we thought there was going to be a lot of sleeping on Love and the pack.
Yeah, no, you were more confident than I was in that. I was a little hesitant just based on Christian Watson being out and waiting on Bakhtiari news. I know he's on the injury report for the last 5 years, but yeah, you were more confident than I was. And I simply overlooked how good Aaron Jones still is. AJ Dillon, their offense could still move the ball. Jordan Love looked pretty good from what I saw. And I think it's also a little bit of Chicago's ineptitude, but good for Green Bay getting the division win and starting the season 1-0.
Yep, going to read a stat here before into the next game because this is kind of intriguing. But heading into week 1, teams who rushed for 200 plus, held opponent under 100 rushing yards, did not commit a turnover, and won the turnover margin by at least 2. 110-0 since 2000.
Wow.
Now 110-1 because the play that we really liked that I was all over. Chargers losing by 2 at home to the Finns. Tua and Tyreek look incredible out there. Obviously setting records, and I didn't see that coming. I thought there would be a little bit of struggle, but there was nothing. They did whatever they wanted.
Yeah, the Chargers -3 was our play. Another confident play of mine. Herbert can have Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator. He can have his wide receivers healthy, but it doesn't matter if you're going to give up 34, 35, 40 points a game. So that defense has a lot of work to do in a division that, I don't know if the Raiders can put up points or Denver, but, when you're facing Patrick Mahomes twice a year, and other AFC opponents, you're going to have to play some defense. So I was high on the Chargers. I still am, but it's definitely some caution there.
Sure. Cowboys Giants, pretty much maybe the most talked about game, just of how lopsided it really was. Cowboys 40-0, just absolutely manhandled them. It wasn't, like I said, wasn't even really close to begin with. I blinked and they were up 26-0 by the time I even settled in to watch the game. So I don't know if you want to talk about anything there other than just New York did not look like the New York that we saw last year at all. There was no fight whatsoever.
No, I didn't watch a ton after the first half. Hopefully everyone else turned off too, but Dallas looked pretty good, and their Super Bowl odds definitely decreased. I think they're maybe top 3 or 4 as opposed to top 8 prior to the game.
Yeah, for sure. And then last night, Jets Bills just wild all the way around. We did say though we would lean the taking the points with the Jets. I had no faith in that. 5 minutes in. Mm-hmm. And especially at the half, I thought actually Allen and co were going to run it up and it was going to get out of hand quickly. But the Jets definitely persevered there and came out with kind of a gritty win.
Yeah, unbelievable. Watching that game, it would turn into the most hyped game. At halftime, you thought it would be the most boring, but Josh Allen was the best player on the Jets last night. And it was insane. 4 turnovers. When the Jets tied it in the fourth quarter and then he had that fumbled snap, that was probably one of the worst plays I've ever seen coming off of a kick. Absolutely brutal. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect for the Jets. I saw they were shopping for some QBs or looking at potential trade partners. Curious to see kind of how that shakes out. You think Tom ends up in a Jet uniform?
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. We're not going there.
Okay.
No, other than that, if you did tailor even our leans, if you did follow our bounce bats, we were definitely profitable after week 1. The one thing I want to say is if you look at last week, last year, we were talking about this earlier. Last year, it felt like the first maybe 10 weeks of the year, we were seeing the board so clear. Really no doubts. We kind of would see it, do a little bit of the research that we needed to do, find the trends that we liked, and we were able to capitalize and put together a hell of a year. It was around week 12 or 13. We saw the lines kind of get a little bit sharper. I think it kind of picked up where it left off. And looking at the board, even the lines going into week 2 definitely look a lot sharper than what we've seen. And nothing really sticks out a ton. So, we're putting in the legwork a little bit more. But, I think you agree with me there.
Yeah, 100%. It already seems like the odds makers are super sharp. I think it'll come to us. We didn't have a bad week. We had a good week overall. But, starting looking ahead at week 2, it seems as though the lines are definitely sharp, so pay more attention to line movement during the week, where money's coming in, some injury news if necessary. Just want to call out some stats though. So week 1, Before last night, underdogs 9-6 ATS, 10-6 including the Jets. Road teams were 12-4 ATS. Road dogs 8-2 ATS, and then unders were 12-4. So it was a week for dogs against the spread. It was a week for unders, and I wouldn't necessarily think that it's going to flip this week. You can get caught kind of riding that type of back and forth, but I will say week 2 is definitely an overreaction week. We saw it in college football a little bit. Expect the same here in NFL. We'll get more into our plays for week 2 later in the week, but anything that stands out to you off the hop?
No, I actually just agree with you. I think it's going to be a massive overreaction week. I think we're able to catch some good numbers, hopefully. Again, the look ahead, the numbers do look pretty sharp, but I think we're going to see some let the money flow in. We're going to see some public overreaction, and hopefully, we can catch somebody hanging a bad number and capitalize on it. But other than that, I got nothing. Look forward to week 2. Keep the train moving. Hopefully, be positive units again and just gain some momentum.
Yep, sounds good. Take care, guys.
Yep, see you in a few days.